Sup, motherfuckers? This is Some Idiot Reads. I'm Cy. I'm some idiot. And I'm going to read some stuff right now. Now, I know I just released one of the Dispatches from Appalachia readings yesterday. Right now, I am recording this Monday, June 16th. And the dispatch that just came out, the reading for the dispatch that just came out yesterday, I recorded mid last week. Anyway, I know I just released one, but from my understanding, I kind of need to read this one. This just came out this morning from over on Coyote's Medium page. Link will be in the description. Please make your way over there. Give him a follow. Check out the article directly. Give it a clap. Give him a tip if you can afford to do so without hurting yourself. Barest minimum. If you also can, take some time, spread this. If you find this inspiring and beneficial, share the link to it. Get some attention on it. Based on the title of this, I am expecting to, based on the title of this and how he was presenting this morning, I'm expecting this to be good. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into Cracks in the Kingdom, our declaration of hope. What starts out is with a picture of a coyote with a hammer. Very innocent. Didn't put the cracks there. What? Cracks in the Kingdom, our declaration of hope. More than a day has passed since No King's Day, and for the first time in a long time, I can feel the old, familiar stirrings of optimism in my soul. Sidebar. Same. Even here, deep within the Republican-held, for the time being, ground of Appalachia, where the president has enjoyed immense popularity, the voices of the righteous have lifted to make their displeasure known. From little Kentucky towns like Hazard and Somerset to the sprawling cities of Lexington and their famed rival, Louisville, the call went out and was answered. Among the mountains of West Virginia, where the redneck army kicked the tar right out of the gun thugs, where Mother Jones could snap her finger and summon 10,000 men to tear down the oligarchs, where Red Thompson charged the machine guns for his fellow black miners, and where Sid Hatfield became our saint, the call went out and was answered. The governors threatened us with the law. The law threatened us with beatings. In Virginia, where you can still find the grave houses of the Melungeon people, and even though it was darkened by an attack by a cowardly man driving through the crowd, the call went out, and it was answered. Just as it was answered by our northern cousins in Pennsylvania, just as it was answered by so many of you brave people. The media called us violent. The violent called the National Guard for backup with badges pinned on their chests. All across our great nation, and make no mistake, our nation is great and never needed to be made, quote-unquote, great again. People joined together. Good people filled the Golden Gate Bridge. Good people marched in the shadow of cities built by immigrant hands. Good people have demonstrated that love and hope cannot be deported. They demonstrated that blood need not be spilled for our message to be heard. Good people of all walks of life, of all races, of all religions, of all ages and beliefs, for one day stood before the fascist and showed them that we are still here, and this is America. They have the gun thugs that call themselves ICE. They have the jackboots who cheered removing a lawfully sitting governor and using force on civilians. They have the police, emboldened by the rise of fascism to the degree that they are willing to fire rubber bullets on innocent journalists. And what do we have? We, the masses, those upon whose backs the oligarchs have built their empires. We, the people of this country, whose diversity makes it great. What do we have? Tell me, what do you think we have? We don't have money, especially us in the writing business. We don't have the guns. We ain't no killers. That's them, not us. We don't have the tanks. And you can tell it, too, because all those were at the president's parade. Not that anyone was there to see them. They got soldiers, cops, ICE agents, and the whole damn federal government. And what do we have? Gay folks, trans folks, black folks, women folks, immigrant folks, poor folks, dreamers, believers, artists, them that are hungry, that are scared, them that live in fear each day now that they or someone they love will be whisked away by men in masks and sent off to some foreign prison? Yes, by God Almighty, that is what we have. And it is more than enough. We have always been more than enough. Do you not see how they fear us when we stand together? I am Coyote Wallace. This is the Dispatches from Appalachia. And today, it's not about our mountains. It's not about our mines. It's not about the labor war or the company store. Today, my friends, it is about you and the cracks we have made in the Orange King's kingdom. Today, with the display of love still ringing in our hearts that was no King's Day, we make our declaration of hope. And I, Cy, some idiot, am already loving the fuck out of this. Let's continue. Picture from Jacksonville. There's been a couple of other pictures in here, but I didn't really want to break the flow. But here we go. Got some in Jacksonville. Good deal. There was always a cost. One of the many things about No King's Day that we can all take pride in is that so many of these protests were absolutely peaceful on the side of the protesters. We all know that Fox News and the conservative propaganda machines would have loved any opportunity to jump on the violence. And they had convinced many people to be fearful of what those protests heralded. By refusing to strike first, we forced the fascists to show the world their true faces. We now hold, for whatever it's worth, the moral high ground on this matter, and are actively working to starve the propaganda machine that is often used against us. However, there is a cost anytime we rise up, and that cost is increasingly one paid in blood. The combination of conservative propaganda, poor mental health care options, an overabundance of firearms, and, most lethally of all, fear, all contributed to the deaths of good people as we demonstrated the true character of our hearts and cause. Before we go one word further, let's take a moment to spare a thought for those who died for no other reason than believing that families should not be split apart by ICE agents, for believing that the poor should be taken care of, and for believing that in this country you have the right to be who you know you are on the inside. That's why they died. Let's not pretend it's a quirk of fate, or that those deaths were not set in motion by the fire-stoking and fear-mongering of the right wing. Pictured, 2 Minnesota lawmakers shot. I speak, of course, of Minnesota State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband, who tragically lost their lives to a cowardly gunman, Vance Bolter. Fuck you, Vance. That one's not in the article. I just really felt like saying that. As well as Representative John Hoffman and his wife, who were wounded by the same craven attacker. I will resist the urge to go into details on such a man, as those details are still forthcoming and the complete picture is not yet known. We do know that Bolter was a loyal Trump supporter, though, and he was targeting Democratic lawmakers. I will not sully this piece any further with this scum's details. May the justice that finds him be swift in its time and hard in its measure. May he live a long life behind bars. May he grow old as the world around him moves on and his name is forgotten. May his time in prison deliver him the same degree of sorrow that he has visited upon the families of those he has slain in his quest to prove his loyalty to the Orange King. This was not all the blood. Pictured, photographer shot with a rubber bullet in the head. Sidebar, I have been at my fair share of protests where that sort of armament's been used. Yeah. It's about as horrifying in person as it is to see that right fucking there. Watching blood drip down somebody's fucking face from getting hit in the head with that shit. Yeah. Many of you endured the beating of batons, the sting of rubber bullets, the choking clouds of gas as you proved yourself more honorable than any man in uniform who watched or participated. Each of you deserves thanks as you look upon your bruises and cuts. Each of you deserves to be told that you are America. Not them. Never them. Never the jackboot. Never the gun thug. Never the fascist. Those who put those wounds on you sought to break your spirit, but all they did was prove that our cause endures. I thank each of you for your courage, if no one else has. Sidebar. Fucking same. Respect. You are heroes. You are patriots. You are the beating heart of the American experiment. You are soldiers of love, agents of hope, and the proof that our tomorrow will be better than our today. Fireflies in the night. As I watched the No King's Day protests unfold across the nation, as I began to get an inkling of just how big this movement was going to be, I can distinctly remember a feeling of dread. This was a powder keg, no matter what preventative measures were in place. And that powder keg just needed a red hat wearing spark. I was convinced that at any point, all hell might well break loose and heavy violence would erupt. While some of the protests did have cops beating the shit out of people, they weren't gunning them down, and our people still refused to take the bait. But when I saw the Golden Gate Bridge, pictured below, when I saw the people in Dallas take to the streets, pictured below, when the little towns in the mountains buried there showed me just how deep this seam of hope ran, I almost cried. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I believe that if I live to be 100, I will never see a sight so fine or grand as that display. A switch, one I hadn't even known was turned off inside me since the first Trump administration, was suddenly flipped. I glimpsed, in that moment, our potential. And I believe it is the same potential that Mother Jones once saw when she came to Appalachia all those years ago. Pictured, Hazard, Kentucky. That feeling I got, I couldn't place it at first, even though it felt familiar. This feeling, it was like a tune I'd heard before when I was very young, but had forgotten as the years added gray to my beard. Hope? No, not just hope. It was more than hope. It was greater than just hope. I was looking at solidarity. Men like Elon Musk, men like Donald Trump, men who crave greater power but loathe the greater good. Those men trembled when they saw that. I can't prove it, but there was nothing the coal operators feared more than a multicultural alliance amongst their workers, and I can almost guarantee that when they looked out and saw all of your beautiful faces, they fucking shit their pants. Pictured, Trump at his birthday bash. Caption, as it turned out, he really did shit his pants. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sorry, but there's no better way to say it. I don't give a damn if cursing betrays a limited vocabulary. They shat their pants. Violently. We may actually need to look into donating all the bricks that flew from their asses to Habitat for Humanity, which, of course, would be the only way Republicans contribute to helping the poor. We have all lived in darkness now for far too long. Each of us has awoken every single day that this nightmare has been upon us, and we have held our breath in anticipation of the next blow across our hearts. We have watched them propose, putting children back to work. We have seen them gleeful at starving the poor. We have watched them pull down the protections on workers' rights. We've seen them target people of color and hunt down immigrants. They have threatened our trans brothers and sisters. They have rattled their sabers in the faces of our gay communities. They have swindled, lied, and now they barely pretend they do not want to bring about the Handmaid's Tale. Pictured, Bay Area, the lovely badging made out of people. Okay, that actually sounded really bad. It's just a really great, gathering of people there. Just look at the page. You good. Did it not fill your heart with light to raise your voice? I'm going to choose to believe that the engine revving out there is a joyous bit of that and not just people screwing around. If you heard that, apologies. Did you not, even if it was just for one day, feel proud to be an American again? I did. Seeing all of you out there, watching all of you together, all our differences forgotten as we stood together against the darkest parts of the human soul, was the first bit of pride I have felt in this country in too damn long. Hear me now. You are the fireflies in the darkness. You are the candle flames that push back the shadows. You are the first rays of the coming dawn of liberty on a land that has been deprived of its liberty by a tyrant king and his court of oligarchs. Our country is nothing without people who, like yourselves, are willing to stand up and say, we will no longer tolerate cruelty and hate and fear-mongering in our country. Where they bring hate, we bring love. Where they teach fear, we will teach tolerance. When they seek to exploit our tolerance, we will show them our strength. Because in this land, and in America, where right and wrong are discarded more easily than I'd care to admit, in a country that has forgotten its promise to the poor, the tired, and the huddled masses of far shores, you shine even brighter than before. Never forget that. You, the American people, from the dishwashers to the truckers to the store clerks, teachers, lawyers, and people from every conceivable corner of our beautiful land, are the light of this country. You are the true north by which we must now set our moral compasses. Pictured, Maui. The king's flaccid display in the coming days. Consider this. Millions upon millions came out for No King's Day. Millions of us. And only a few thousand appeared at Trump's shameful display of military might. Of all the things we on the left could have dreamed up to humiliate the Orange King, it turned out what was most effective was his own damn plan. He sat, scowling, while surrounded by his toadies and henchmen, as fucking Fortunate Son played during the march. He was made out to be a joke, and a bad joke at that. The cult of personality that the Orange King has built around himself is impressive, even frightening. But when the light of our combined hope shone upon his wretchedness, he was revealed to be weak, anemic, and vulnerable. For all of his concern about image and brand, he is now recorded forever as the sort of asshole who spent huge sums of taxpayer money declaring to the world that he was very, very insecure about the size of his own penis. We have pulled the mask off the monster, like an old Scooby-Doo villain. And beneath it is just a greedy old white man running a scam to fill his own pockets. Like an old Scooby-Doo villain. We must not take this moment for granted. We must strike while the iron is hot and the flame of hope burns brightly in our chests. We must remember this moment. Remember the power in our solidarity and what we can do with it when we unite. We can make the world our children deserve. We can fashion with our own hands in America where no one has to be afraid of the police. We can give women their goddamn autonomy back. We can make a difference if we all stand side by side and refuse to give an inch. I promise you, we can. I guarantee you, we can. Sidebar, I, person reading this right now, 1000% agree. I have witnessed it with my own two fucking eyes. Think on it, Coyote fam. Consider it as you sit reading this on your phone or your computer. Imagine an America where children go to school and get fed for free and do not have to fear being shot. Imagine in America, where we know our immigrant brothers and sisters are vital parts of our communities, and they are safe to pursue the American dream. Imagine, each of you, right now, a world where trans people can read to little children and black teenagers can walk up to the police and ask for directions without fear of being gunned down where they fucking stand. There are some who will tell you we must not thought police the fascist. They will tell you we must welcome them back with open arms and return America to its divided state, where we must argue with men and women about how many children it is acceptable to pick up bleeding off the fucking ground. They will want you to seek middle ground, compromise, and in doing so sell out your trans friends, your mothers, and the black communities who have waited far too goddamn long for us to get off of our asses and stop the butchery of their young people. And you're not going to listen to that hogwash anymore. There are no neutrals now. Organize. Plan. Reinvest yourself in every element of civic duty. Strengthen your communities. Shelter folks from ICE. Resist the occupation of our American spirit by fascist, crooked cops and jackboots who forsake their oaths about unconstitutional orders. Use this as a recharge for your inner battery. Make these memories the ones that keep you warm on the cold nights when the fight is long and the light seems far away. Beyond that horizon lay a better day. A day where we are together, where we are one, where we are the people worthy of the gift of our liberty at last. You, the angry punk who traded in his fire for cynicism. I'm not quite gonna say fuck you, coyote, but I feel very attacked by that line. It's like it's a grazing shot, it's nearby, we can talk sometime. I'm not quite saying fuck you, but thumbs up. You, the teacher who has tasted the bitterness of having to teach children bullshit lies because the truth offends their cultist parents, and now you risk being defunded for saying all children are welcome in your classroom. You, the artist who doesn't know if AI is going to put you on the street and steal the food from your hands. You, the glorious goddamn women of our fine country, whom they seek to make into nothing more than incubators, and who must tolerate these brainless, pro-life fuckers dictating how much of you belongs to you. The trans woman, who teaches herself how to shoot because she doesn't believe she is safe. The gay man who doesn't know if he'll be able to call his husband, in the eyes of the law, come tomorrow. You are the kingless. I am the kingless. We are the kingless. Now, say it with me. Speak it aloud wherever you are. Fuck it if your boss looks at you weird, or your spouse wakes up from their nap, or the person on the train next to you is disturbed by it. Say it. God damn it. Say it. Solidarity forever. Quick note as an after script. You were 100% fucking right, Coyote. Yeah, that one's a little fiery there. Fucking love it. This is fantastic. Highly recommend. Same as I said at the very beginning of this. Go out, get this article right here. Like, see? Look. Get to the end of the article. Right there. Give it a clap. Bam. Need to give it a response. What do I do as a response? You know what? I'm not going to go ahead and... I'm getting a response in here. I just haven't... I want to take some time and compose something. Maybe. I don't know. I'm kind of running here right now talking. Also, right here, make sure, yep, cool, give it a tip if you can afford to do so. Okay, we are not going to go ahead and do that, but give it a tip if you can afford to do so. I don't want to wind up, because I don't know how the page is going to open, and I don't want to give away any personal information, so there's that. But, legitimately, as far as it goes for this, he is 100% correct. 1,000% fucking correct. I wouldn't say I am personally entirely the punk that traded in fire for cynicism. I don't think I quite traded my shit in for cynicism. More of a turtling up on my end. Because, well, there's a lot to it, and I'm not going to go into that right here. But turtling up is probably the right way to say it. Waiting until such a point as things do get going. I said to my younger brother at one point in regards to it, because my younger brother, my mom, and my sister, fucking bless all three of you, y'all were all out there. That made me incredibly happy to see. And I was talking to my younger brother, actually just before like recording this. Like he was telling me that, you know, if you'd asked him a year ago, or 10 years ago, or hell, even a year ago, would it have been some fucking rich asshole that wound up getting him actually interested in politics? Because he didn't give a flying fuck before. I was always the one that was out there as the fucking firebrand. And it was just like, yeah, no, honestly, everyone has a fucking limit. It doesn't surprise me to see people rise up like this. It makes me incredibly happy to fucking see. Thing that I want to go ahead and tack on as an endpoint to this one. Bit sobering, and I don't want this to at all take away from the fire that Coyote put here on the page, because that fire is fucking beautiful. And that fire is fucking necessary. Keep it going. It is easy to do a singular grand display. Easy being relative here. Very relative. I'm not saying it's easy to go out and... It's a relative term. But it is, in order of magnitude, different to keep that momentum. And that's the part I want to go ahead and make sure and call out here as well with this. The fire's good. Keep that fire. Run with that fire. But make sure that you're also going to be able to be in for a haul. They will try to just wait you out. They will knuckle under, and they will wait for you to get tired and move on. We all know how the fucking news cycle works. And look, myself, guilty as charged as well. We move on to the next fucking thing within a week or two. Don't let that fucking happen. Do not let it fall under the grind of the news cycle. Keep the fire burning. Keep the iron hot. Don't let them think that this is just a passing fad and a little bit of anger at Orange Man, and then they can get right back onto business. Keep things going. It doesn't every day have to be large protests in the street. Though, that would probably also get some shit done. It doesn't have to be that. Keep the staying power going. And if you need a reminder of feeling fucking... just having a fire lit under your fucking ass, go back. Reread this article. Because, yeah. Again, you are entirely correct, Coyote. I fucking loved that. Now, if y'all excuse me, I'm going to go get the thumbnail for this put together. I'm going to get my comment to put onto this article. I fully expect and hope every last one of you check this damn article out. Go to it. Give it some love. Again, give the man a tip. if you can afford to. And if you can't, that's cool too. But spread his article around. Spread this video if you feel like it too. I'm not going to be offended if you don't. This really is getting the word out on this one. All right. Solidarity forever, motherfuckers. Deuces.